Welcome to Paranormal Gateway Paratalk. I'm the host Scott Wise, and my special guest tonight is Lee Allen from ParaVizionz Paranormal Society. Lee started ParaVizionz Paranormal Society in 2002. He was introduced to paranormal after losing his son August 1998. His first investigation was Moundsville Penitentiary in Wheeling, West Virginia in late 1998. He started seeing a 3-foot shadow, and a month after his son passed away. The shadow followed him to this day. They were based out of Cincinnati, Ohio, with over 4,000 investigations under their belt, from residential to businesses. He has been on Haunting, Trapped in Terror, Ghost of War, and Ghost Nation of Unholy Haunting. His goal was to help others along the way, and it's therapeutic to him after losing his son. This time 2000, his daughter was born and went through 54 outpatient and inpatient surgeries and passed away at the age of 5. His team includes his wife Patti, Jim, John, Teresa, Jay, and Jason. So without further ado, let's welcome Lee to the show. Welcome, Lee. Thanks for coming on.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Sure. All right, we'll start off like I start off with all my guests. Is what first sparked your interest?
Oh, well, what sparked my interest was, like you had mentioned in the little breakdown, little bio, I never knew anything about paranormal until end of August, early September of 1998. August 14th, coming up, actually, my son was born. And he was born with what they call hypoplastic left heart. That means the left side of his heart wasn't fully developed.
Wow.
And he was in the hospital for 2 weeks. He had to have a shunt put into his left heart. Well, the shunt had blew and he had passed away. And then right at the end of August, early September, I started seeing this. Well, first of all, I was in the shower. It was a Saturday morning. I was in the shower, home alone, and we weren't in his nursery, and it was closed up. And I could hear his mobile playing backwards. Back at that time, Baby Looney Tunes was the big thing. So it was a Baby Looney Tunes song. So I get out of the shower, wrap a towel around me. I'm thinking somebody's in there playing with toys. So I go out of the bathroom door, look down the hallway. The door is closed. So I open the door. And as I open the door, the music stops. And I noticed the mobile was just swinging like back and forth.
That gives me chills. Yeah.
And so I'm standing in the middle of his room, and you feel like when you're being watched. I started getting creeped out, like I think somebody's in my house. So I step backwards to the door, close the door nice and gently, and I get ready and I go around. I'm looking to make sure no doors were open or anything. Nothing's going on. So I go back up there and nothing. I didn't feel the same way as I did the first time I walked in the room. So I go play golf with friends, and I just wasn't myself. I was just like, man, I just had experience that it was really weird. I didn't know what it was. And they were like, what's going on? I said, it's ghostly stuff, man. I was like, I've never experienced anything like this before in my life. And hi, April. And so I go down and I play golf, come home. Nothing happened for a couple weeks. So then I'm sitting watching TV, and I'm watching this show, had the lights out, and I had a townhome at the time, and I saw the shadow coming down the steps. And I knew nobody was here because I'm by myself. So it comes down and it comes around to the living room, and it stands on the left-hand side of my TV. So I'm trying to reach up and grab the lamp switch to turn it on. Finally get it turned on. But as I'm doing that, the shadow walks in front of my TV. And when it did, it blocked the TV. So I was like, oh God, somebody's in my house. So as I'm reaching to turn the light on, I hear footsteps running across the tile in the dining room, a giggle, and it's gone.
Oh, wow.
It flipped me out. I was like, oh my God, what? So that started me in the journey of the paranormal is, after losing my son, seeing this 3-foot shadow, it all started August 1998. When that happened, I still see this shadow. It's 3 foot tall, but I knew it couldn't be my son because my son, when he passed away, he was only 2 weeks old. So he's probably about 20 inches long. It was just the weirdest thing. So that's what got me involved in the paranormal, reaching out, talking to people, figuring out what's going on. What am I seeing? Am I losing my mind? Do I need to go see a doctor? And just sporadic through, those 2 years till 2000, I was seeing this shadow. And we had our daughter in December of 2000, and she stayed in the hospital till January the 4th of 2001. She had what they called imperforated anus. So that means they had to reconstruct the rectum. They put a colostomy bag on her. So it was a nightmare. So for 5 years of her life, from 2000 to 2005, she was in 53 inpatient, outpatient surgeries. She actually passed away as they were going in on May 17th to remove 85% of her colon at 5 years old. So she could, because she was getting a lot of urinary tract infections. So they were doing everything they could to help. So anyways, when she passed away the following Monday, she got out on a Friday. She passed away on a Monday. And the 3-foot shadow popped up. He was there again 2 days after her death. And this time I wasn't living in the townhome. I had a house. And so it was weird that, when I get, how can I put this? When I see this 3-foot shadow, we all deal with issues like stress, worries. When I get into that, that's when I see this 3-foot shadow. Is it a spirit guide? Is it like a Grim Reaper? I don't know, but it freaks me out when it happens. So I thought, okay, maybe I need to step away from the paranormal, because in 2002, I must rewind a little bit. In 2002, well, let's go back a little bit to 99 before my daughter was born. I met these people that they were like, oh, this guy was grieving, he was in a Yahoo group. Now, this tells you how long ago this was. It was a Yahoo group for family members, and especially men, that was going through grieving, losing a child from any age. So I met this guy, and he introduced me to some people, and he goes, hey, do you want to go investigate a cool place? And I was like, yeah. I says, is it ghosts? And he goes, yeah, it's in Wheeling, West Virginia. It's an old prison. I'm like, oh, I'm all there. So when are we going? So we were going. It was winter. It was cold. We're in this big old place. About 11 o'clock, everybody left except the tour guy. He goes, okay, I'm going to be in my bunkhouse. You guys are here till whenever you're done. 7 o'clock's when we got to check out in the morning. So we're investigating this place. And I've never experienced anything like that before. I was like, wow, this is cool. Hello, Patti. My wife just chimed in. And
Hi, Patti. Thanks for joining.
So it was so that was a cool investigation for your very first one. Now, and I can tell you exactly what kind of stuff I had at the time. I was using a C battery flashlight that my dad had. He worked in the mill here. He gave me that. It had a magnet where you can actually like magnetize it to your locker. I bought a little HP camcorder with a little tiny screen, and I had that, and I had an analog recorder, and I had a digital recorder, and I still have both.
I hear you.
I still have both of those recorders today, and that was very cool to experience what we went through, and so I started feeling like, okay, after that investigation, there was a lady and her husband reached out to us to do an investigation at her home. So I shadowed the guy that got me involved. He didn't live far from me. And he was really cool. And he goes, yeah. So I shadowed him. And I'm like, this is really cool how you guys are, you got 100% spectrum here. And all of her incidences that are happening in her house, you're going back and trying to reenact. You scratch your head at some because you can't debunk those. And then you say that the 5% is the unknown. 95% of it you can reenact, you can figure it out. But that 5%, we scratch our head. We're like, what is that? And I was like, that's really not a lot to go off of, but I really like it. It's like a high. It's a drug. I need more. I want to know more. I want to know as much as I can. So I got involved, and that residential just blew me up. I was sitting one night, and I came up with ParaVizionz. I looked on, at that time we had dial-up AOL, and I'm on there. Yeah. Took me forever to get logged in.
I'm as old as you are. I know what it's about. That super. Oh my God, I still hear it.
I can still hear that in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you go and you go get your disc and you put it in your computer and boom. And I Googled ParaVizionz and I put S's on it. And there was, of course, some documentaries that was made. And I was like, no, but I like the name ParaVizionz. So I'm sitting there and I'm drawing because I love to draw. And I took the S's away and put Z's. And then I looked that up and I'm like, there's nothing out there with that name. That's my name. So as I'm doing that, I go back to that residential, that 5% that we call the unknown. And I'm like, that's my slogan. And ever since I created ParaVizionz, I always keep looking into the unknown. And ParaVizionz was born 2002. It was in January. And so I go straight to GoDaddy. Got the domain name, ParaVizionz.com. Still have it till today. And then I just started building my team, building clients. And it was a lot of word of mouth. Back then, too, we had MySpace. Oh, we didn't have Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. So you could create your little video on your MySpace as your profile. And, we started getting word of mouth. People started saying, hey, we're starting to have these problems. And then 2003, 2004, that's when Ghost Hunters came out on Sci-Fi. And we blew up here in Cincinnati.
We did. That's the we did too. In York.
Yeah, everybody wanted to see an investigator in the house, right? So when that all happened, I was like, I really like this. And so we started doing residentials. And then I came up with something. I'm like, okay, people are loving this paranormal, but also I love the history. I love the history of a location, not just a building, not just a home, but the history of the land, of what it was prior to this, the home, the town, whatever. And so I do a lot of history background researching. I do all that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to my local historical societies and have a meeting with them and share, because they're all volunteers, right? All historical societies are volunteer. And they need the money. They need the funds to keep the museums going. And so they count and rely on a lot of charities. They rely on the states to fund them. And it's still not enough. So, you got to keep, in the winter, you got to keep the heat on so it preserves all the artifacts and everything in the building. Plus, in the summer, you got to keep the air conditioner on so it doesn't get too bad. So I reached out to a local historian, talked to them, went and done a meeting. They loved the idea. I said, what I would like to do is I would like to investigate your location. I would like to do a ghost class 101. Come in. You can charge whatever you want per ticket. I don't want any money. All the proceeds go to you. We can, it depends on the size of the building. That's how many people we would bring in as my team and I. So we started doing that, and it took off. So that historical town reached out to the next historical town. They reached out to me. I started climbing until I was actually at Columbus at the headquarters for the Historical Society in 2005, before my daughter had passed away, talking about this in front of them and saying, you guys are doing a great thing. I'm hearing a lot of great things about what you guys are doing. You're coming in, you're telling the history of the location. You're sharing stories of towns. You're going around the towns and hearing ghost stories and putting the history with it. And then you're coming up there to the museums, and you're not wanting any money. I was like, no, because it's not a proven science what I'm doing, and I'm here to help you as an historical society to bring money in and keep funding the museums. So they said, can you do all the counties in the state of Ohio? And I'm like, no, I don't have enough manpower. So I did. I reached out. I started forming an organization. ParaVizionz, I had an organization of over 450 investigators across Ohio.
Wow.
We had meetings once a month. I would meet them in Columbus. They would meet me down here. I'd go to Cleveland. We would meet. And we did this for about 6 months. And then I finally just told them to start their own teams. Take care of your counties you live in. I told the Historical Society, I'll take care of mine. It's just getting overwhelming because they wanted these classes done like 4 or 5 times a year. I mean, when you got like 20 people and you're charging, back then, I think we were charging $25 a ticket. And that is from 7 o'clock to 1 in the morning. That's a lot of money. And do it 4 or 5 times a year, they're making some good money off the paranormal. And so then that happened. My daughter passed away. I started to get in the spotlight of doing some shows. Started out, I did not want to do my ghost story. I was like, no. They heard my story about how I lost kids and how I got into paranormal. And nothing against anybody that done that show, but I did not do the show. I turned it down. But when A Haunting came out, I really liked their concept because it stuck around a lot longer than my ghost story. So I done 2 shows on there. Got a divorce in the meantime with my first wife in 2006. And then I was a bachelor until 2010. And when I met my wife, Patti. Now, Patti, she was a client from a friend of mine. He had his own paranormal team at the time, and he was actually checking her house out. And he wanted a second opinion because there were some things in there that made him scratch his head twice because I don't understand what's going on, man. I need you to help. Can you look into this? So the first investigation, I did not get to go because I sent a team in because I was doing something really cool at the time. I was actually filming a Super Bowl commercial with Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. I'm this little white boy eating these chicken wings at a dining room table with these 2 guys over me. Now they're both diabetic. So they wrote this cookbook together. And I think I have it somewhere.
That's funny.
I got it somewhere and they autographed it. But of course our commercial didn't make it on the air, but I had all this chicken sauce all over my face.
Oh.
So, but when the reveal was getting ready to happen, I told the team I want to be there because I want to show you how we go over the reveal. So it was snowing and I came in and that's when I met Patti. And it was like love at first sight. Boom. We did the investigation. We didn't talk for a few months. And then the guy that had that team, he actually came on my team because he wasn't getting any help. You probably noticed this. A lot of people do. There's a lot of time in a paranormal investigation, you know, not just setting it up, going out, spending 6-8 hours in there, but you got to go over all the video. You got to go over all the audio. That takes a lot of time. So you get these people that want to be on a team, but they don't want to do all the research. They don't want to go over
don't get
all
me
of
started.
It drives me crazy. So he had
me
some
too.
of those. He had some of those people. So he stopped his team and he came on board with me. So we took off. You know, we had a great time. We connected, and then I think it was early before spring. Me and Patti started talking, and we got married in 2012. And she's part of the team because now what she brings to the table is she was a client. So she understands on that side. So when we go in and do these residentials, she knows how to open up the lady of the house. She knows how to get to the meat and the potatoes. What is really going on in this house? You know, she finds out, okay, that they're on medication and they don't even know the side effects, that it causes hallucination. Mm-hmm. It causes all of this stuff that they did not know. Or mixing medications together can cause problems. Right. And so we work well together. We're a well-oiled machine. Then I got involved into TAPS, back to ghost hunters. Started communicating with Jason, Jason Halls. We are now one of the teams in Ohio, TAPS family, that takes on cases for them. You know, when they're on TV, even when they're not on TV, they still get a lot of people shooting emails. And so they have a team of managers that will reach out to the local teams in the areas, and we'll go out and we'll take care of it. Now, if it's something interesting, I'll reach to Jason personally and say, you need to come out. So I did that one time with a location in Waynesville, Ohio. The guy bought an old church and turned it in. It was an old Catholic church. He turned it into a store for his wife right in town. Waynesville is one of the most haunted little villages in Ohio. It's a Quaker town. And so we went out, Patti and I went out and checked this place out. And we caught a really cool thermal image shot and of somebody kneeling at the grotto in the back of the church, which was really cool. And we had a lot of activity through the night, which I couldn't really explain. So I was like, I have to ask a question. Can I share this with the world? And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, I work with TAPS and I would like to get Jason's opinion on this building. Would you be interested if he comes out and he investigates this and puts it on TV? Oh yeah, if he's willing, yeah. So I reached out. They loved the idea. And this is when Grant took over Ghost Hunters. Jason was doing Ghost Nation. Mm. So I had Ghost Nation come out. It was Jason, Steve, Dave Tango, and Sherry. And I were there all week. And some of the activity that we were picking up, you know, using a low fog machine with the strobe light. We picked up a little boy, like 4 foot tall. You could see him standing there. Just some of the stuff, because you got to remember it was a church. So it was a very active, and you can check that out. You guys can go to, whoever's watching, you can go to An Unholy Haunting, go to YouTube, type in An Unholy Haunting, Ghost Nation, and you can see the episode.
Oh, I do that. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
So it was a really cool, fun time. And so we did that. And then that's one of my historical societies that I like to work with the most is Waynesville. We do 3 classes a year. We're going to be doing one September 28th. So if you're in the area, that is the weekend of the paranormal. Everybody investigates across the world, of course.
Yeah. Where did they come out with it? I've been looking for tickets. And are they out yet?
Yeah. I share a little banner that you can go to their website. And I'll share that right now. Let me just open up my phone and I'll tell you the websites. People can see it.
I saw it off the other day, but I saw one for last year.
Yep.
About this. So
yeah, it's you go to friendshomemuseum.org. It's September 28th. You can reserve your reservation and all proceeds go to them. It's a fun time. The last class we did was July 13th. And we're down in the basement, and they have the basement set up and the as like a kitchen area. And we're in a dining area, and they got an old jukebox in there, and we're all sitting around these old tables. And one of the volunteers, through the ghost box, it mentioned somebody that he is related to. And so we're talking about that. In all the years that I've been there doing these investigations and classes, I've never had poltergeist activity until that night. There was an old wash basin. Now, a lot of people, if you're young, you won't understand what a wash basin is. But they had one sitting in there by the old slop sink, and it actually moved like 2 feet from that slop sink. You could hear the old wheels go. We turn around. Nobody's in that room. We're like, what the hell was that? You look through there. We saw this big bright light like a ball. It went down like this and shot across. Gone. Did not know what that was. That was just phenomenal. That was just 2 weeks ago. I've never had a poltergeist activity happen there ever. Something there really, as soon as we was talking about his family, somebody in his family, I'm like, hey, they want to talk to you. And it scared him a little bit. And he goes, I don't know if I want to talk. I was like, well, something wants to speak. And so we hung out a little bit. We were getting a few little things. Everybody was pumped, everybody's using their equipment. And we're just asking a lot of questions. And but that, I've never had that happen before there. And I'm like, wow, that was really cool. So this Saturday, we're heading over to Mitchell, Indiana to do Whispers Estate.
Oh, cool.
Never been there. We're teaming up. Yeah, so it looks like a cool place. I can't wait. I've been doing some history this evening before I came on about the location. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, you talk about the churches. The very first investigation ever was in a church. It was in Flourtown, PA.
Okay.
And I got a little child in nursery. We asked her to knock on the table, and she came back and said, I can't. And the voice on AVP. So we went back to a different group after that, and we actually picked up a choir singing.
It was the choir where you could actually hear the choir singing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So more than one. That's crazy.
Yeah, circle, yeah.
Now, what's the history behind the church?
It was built back in 1818 and had a local cemetery. I have do you want to hear a choir singing?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I got it down here. It's a Zion Lutheran Church. So
Wow.
I have to play here. Again.
Oh, okay. Now, did you hear that with your ears, or did you, when you were going over your recorder, you heard it?
It was actually picked up on DVR.
Oh, really?
Camera, yeah.
So you had a camera set up in that area?
Yeah, church, yeah. And that's it picked up on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes you go, wow, man. It gives you goosebumps when you're investigating and hear that.
Yeah, that's one of the better ones you had, but yeah. I always say one of the hardest thing to capture is video.
It
I
is.
mean, we
Because
got very lucky with stuff over the years, and we got the luckiest. Did you ever go to Post Town Elementary?
Yep.
Did you go there yet?
Yeah, I've been Post Town Elementary. Yeah. I
Um,
was actually the first person to actually go in there.
because
To the guy that owns it wanted to have a sprinkler system put in for a haunted house. So that's my full-time job is I do fire safety. And so I went in and yeah, been there before.
we got very lucky a couple of years ago, and in the auditorium, yeah, the basketballs and stuff in there.
Yeah, all over the gym area. Yeah.
Well, excuse me. we they're pushing me around the wheelchair. Yeah, do you see that old bucket? The old steel wheelchair that has a bucket.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They well, me and Ellen or anybody know it. They put up at the end by stage. They put the basketball on the bucket. Me and my friend, other investigator, was down doing base camp in the lunchroom, and they came running down and says, "You guys look at the mess around in the gym." I said, "No, we're down the whole time." He said, "Bullshit! You're full of it. Somebody's up there doing something." I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, we put a basketball sure what the heck of it, and we went back to check all the cameras and turn them on, or not turn them on, but check them because they already turned on there." And they came down and this basketball was in the middle of the auditorium or staying or gym. And we picked that up video. I can show it. You'll see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome.
So that's the only thing so you caught that on camera.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Video. Yeah.
I was gonna say do a full screen, yeah.
Right out in the center of the floor.
That has the foresight.
That had because it had to come up and over the bucket.
Yeah.
So wow.
Yeah. So we should.
Nobody was in there. So
No.
What I'm thinking, it could be a child going, "Hey, I'm not done playing basketball. What are you doing?"
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah, that to date with our best video. That happened years ago. So you never know. That's why
you don't.
We go in. First thing we do is go around staircase. We'll start up here, and then we set everything up, turn on.
Yep.
And Mr. Self plugging in the wall, so for electricity. So we don't have to worry about. We can let run, and but like the kids up there running, because I was out there twice. I always have to be back in. We had a lot of luck with AVCs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating. You know, when you capture something on the video, that right there, because and then you've always got your skeptics out there going, really, maybe somebody had it. There's always something, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if the guy who runs Post Town, I forget his name now. And,
the owner?
Yeah.
Daryl.
It's Daryl.
Yeah,
I don't think it's his son. It's his nephew that helps out. Somebody helps him with stuff.
There's a couple teams that help him. POV Paranormal and something Excursions. Nick McQuethy. Now Post Town is literally like 10 minutes away from my house where I'm sitting. I don't live that close.
About an hour from here. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love to go out, I love going to places that people they have, and that's cool. But I love to go to places that have never been investigated.
Oh God, yeah.
if I can find a gold mine, that's a gold mine, right? Because it's like, okay, I heard the history, and I love for my full-time job, and I'm always going in these back roads, and I'm stopping in these little towns, and I'll stop and eat lunch, or I'll get gas, and I'll talk to some of these old timers, and I'm like, hey, can you tell me some good ghost stories? They look at me like, you got a minute? Well, yeah, I got plenty of time. And that's the best is networking, getting out there, finding these locations. Some people, you post pictures of it and people are like, where's this? And you're like, nobody's investigated this, but it's a pretty cool place. Here's the story I got today. You write it down, or you got a recorder. You write down everything that person had said. It's the best way.
Yep, that's the way to do it. I like, we used to, fly here. Door was open for a second, one goes in, I'll be swatting it now. That's why I like to get teams on a lot, because I'll sometimes I'll get authors on too.
Yep.
But I have quite a few of them on. But I really like to talk to teams and hear their experiences. Because then they'll say, well, we're here, and that's a cool place. So if you're in that area, well, I never thought about going there. And in Ohio, they have like tons of cemeteries. I love going to see them, man. And just to see some of the old stones. And,
the old
I like that.
Absolutely. I was in a cemetery. God, this has been 20 years ago. It's up in Beaver Creek State Park, up Route 1 or Route 7 that goes straight up the east side of Ohio, and you got the river. And that's where Pretty Boy Floyd got shot. It's part of the park. We actually camped there, and we were actually in the cemetery that is in the park, and the ranger was walking with us. And my nephew was with me, and he noticed something as we're standing there. It's like 12 at night. He's noticing something really crazy. The wind was blowing, but the tombstone directly in front of us, about 5 feet away, there was a flag on each side of the tombstone. They weren't blowing. So he snaps a picture, and I've got it on the ParaVizionz Facebook page. You see this big angel outlined in bright yellow green dots with big wings right on top of this tombstone. And it was cool. I was like, what the world is? It's like, okay. And I always think this, you always got to think outside the box. As we're poking the bear, we want to know more on the other side, the unknown. I grew up Baptist. It's like my thinking too sometimes is does the good Lord tell me, okay, this is enough, I'm not going to share no more with you? I don't know. It's just something I always think about when we investigate. Like, okay, when you hit that brick wall at night and you're like, oh man, what's going on? My thinking is, okay, the good Lord's saying, hey, this is it. This is as far as I'm going to let you this stuff. And then a few months ago, we were at Ashmore Estates, and we were getting some audio of two people whispering to each other. And they kept saying they can see us. And I started thinking about this as a theory. Are we dead and they're alive? Because when we die here on earth, don't they say it's like worshiping a new beginning? It's life, not death. It's life. This is death. That's life. It makes people think, because when we're standing there, I started tripping people's minds. I'm like, maybe we are dead because they saying they can see us. And they're investigating us. And they're like, okay, enough. Quit talking like. And I'm like, but we don't know.
Do you see the movie The Others?
The Others, exactly. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I love that movie's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's creepy. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe if we start digging into something like that, maybe that is true. There is a meaning behind that.
Right.
but it makes you think, and it goes, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, this was constantly saying, hey, do you see that? And I'm like, you hear, they can hear us. And I'm like, how, what do you mean? We're investigating you. And we were standing at Ashmore Estates. There's a tree out back, and they get a lot of residual. They get a lot of activity around this tree. And Robin Terry, the owner, he actually put a bench up there in memory of a lot of people that had died there. And that's what I got on my audio. And I'm like, I mean, you're out in the BFE. There's nothing around you. This place just sits out there. And that's just creepy. Just like, you know, you heard the choir singing in the church. I mean, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about other paranormal, like UFOs or cryptids?
I'm open to, I love watching a lot, you know, like Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else, because getting into that, you know, during COVID, people were so focused on COVID, the shots, the vaccines. But at that time, FBI and all of them was releasing videos of aliens. And I was like, guys, you're not seeing this on the news. I mean, they're showing like these aircrafts all over the place. Military is seeing this stuff. People are sending in their videos. It's coming out more and more. So yeah, when it comes to that stuff, I haven't really dug into it, but I'm fascinated with it. I love watching. I love hearing stories about it, seeing, you know, people's captures. My thinking, yeah, we're not the only ones here. We can't be. Just like Bigfoot. Yeah, that's fascinating. You know, I got
a good Bigfoot for you too. We were up at the Hinsdale house for a whole weekend, and we heard the weird howling and grunting and roar
in the woods.
In the woods. That we pick that up on audio.
So you never know.
Yeah.
It could,
I played a couple seconds of it. You want to have fun, so
yeah,
you can hear them. We had to record out in the back porch on one of the shelves, and they went out and they heard this, and they're like, "What the hell?" And so it lasted for, I won't play the whole 3 minutes, but it lasted minutes. At first, it sounded like something messed with the quarter.
Oh,
and
like
they could like that.
Yeah.
And then they started hearing back in the woods. So if it might turn up a little, but I'll see what I have to.
That's creepy. Wow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And they hear mustard quarter.
Yep.
We checked for kennels in the area. There were kennels.
There was nothing around there. Because that sits out too, don't it? It sits all the way out.
Oh, yeah. That's way up in the
yeah. That is great.
That goes on for 3 minutes straight.
We actually done some, a couple things. A friend of mine, Jody Cook, that lives in Cincinnati, he's been on Monster Quest, all these Bigfoot shows. And we done some things, we helped him. He wanted us to do the audio, like sit in the woods, camoed up, and just run audio and do real time and all that.
Oh, they'll do that.
So I was like, heck yeah. So we went up to Salt Fork, and man, some of the stuff and hearing people's, you know, stories that lives around these locations. And then we were over in Wilmington, Ohio, and this guy was saying that him and his dad, they got their houses are side by side, and they got a big pond out back, and they were clearing out a lot of trees around the front of the pond. except the backside. So they're out there in the front on this side, closer to the house. They're watching, they're doing excavating. They take a break. They're sitting up on the back porch of one of the houses. Excuse me. And the dad said he saw something tall across the pond in the trees, high up in the tree, walking the trees like it was walking on the grass. So I done some research, and I'm like, these things do walk the trees. So when they don't want to, and it's the thing, they don't want to be seen. I just don't understand the concept, but hearing a lot of the stories and the fascinations, and we do got to take in perspective when you're investigating that kind of stuff at night compared to ghosts.
All right.
You're in the woods with deer, coyotes, squirrels, raccoons, bear.
Yeah.
I don't know all their mating sounds. I don't know all the sounds that they make when they're hurting or if they're whatever they're doing. So I told Jody, I said, you need to get a thermal imaging camera. I was like, carry a lot of your tree cams. I was like, you need a lot of that stuff. But it's something fascinating. I'm definitely interested in that as well. So when it comes to other than, ghosts, I'm just intrigued. I just don't focus on paranormal is a big thing. So why not?
What's your thought on demons?
Oh God, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Everything.
I always ask everybody that.
Yeah. When we get residential cases, and I've done a lot of cases in my time and career in the field, where they call you up and they're like, "Oh my God, we're watching the shows. We went out and bought a voice recorder. This is what we're picking up." Okay, and if you're picking something up, that's good. But when you automatically, even for paranormal investigators, when you automatically go to saying it's demonic, you can't say it's demonic, because here's the thing. A digital recorder is multiple files, multiple frequencies. So let's just use an example. I came to your house to investigate. You start talking to me about your grandpa. Oh, he was set in his own ways. He's grumpy. You say, yeah, that sounds like my grandpa because he was just grumpy and that's just my old grandpa. But if somebody else was there and they'd say, oh, you got a demon in your house. No, Scott just said it sounds like his grandpa. Have I ever experienced anything demonic? Yes. I did a case here in northern Cincinnati, a Mexican family. The dad's family was into devil worshiping. That was their church. Yeah. They moved here to raise their two kids. Their daughter was 14 years old. She was possessed. I saw actual full videos. I've talked to the girl. I've eyewitnessed it with my own eyes, some of the things. What I saw, one cool thing is one night she was sitting in her bedroom on her bed in a 2-story house, and her bed against the wall, the window, big, tall windows, older home, the window open, a breeze blows through, and the curtain goes over her legs. And as it goes over her legs, you see a face coming from the outside into the room as this body figure comes across. You can see on both sides of her feet, her legs, these foot impressions of something coming from the outside into the room. Creepy as hell. One night she had a migraine headache because things were just affecting her real bad. She went and laid in mom and dad's bedroom. They videoed their daughter being grabbed by her ankles, yanked off the bed, thrown across the room, across the big dresser. And as she is saying something in the camera that they're videoing her, you can hear this thing Sounded like it had asthma. It was speaking Latin. It was beyond. I looked at them and said, I'm going to be honest. I'm just a paranormal investigator. This is beyond me. This is something that you really need help with. Let me get an archdiocese in here. Let me get somebody in here to help you. Right down the street was a Catholic church. I'm not Catholic, but I did share my stories with them. Finally called me back. I said, this family needs help. They're Catholic. Mother was Catholic. They took over. We investigated one night there because the husband and wife had split apart. He moved across the street in another house. They went over there as we investigated the home where the daughter was going through all of this activity. We opened a closet door underneath the stairway. Me and a friend set a recorder in there, kept the door open. Something closes that door. We're in a bedroom across the living room there. We heard the door close, turn around, go, what the hell? So we grab the door again, open it up, try to move it. It just doesn't freely open and close because the carpet is so high that you actually got to push it across the carpet. Mm-hmm. As we're messing with that, something in that closet, you saw a black mist form right in front of us. As it does that, it starts to make this crazy sound. As it's in the process, I closed the door and I said, in Yahweh name, I provoke you to go back to wherever you came from. We left. I couldn't handle anymore because that was beyond me at the time. I did not know, and I still wouldn't know what to do. You know, I'm still learning. We don't have, this isn't a proven thing. I don't know. If I knew, then everybody would know what it is. And we would just be like, it's another case. Just like the flu. We know what the flu is. We know what a cold is, but we don't know what paranormal is. That's paranormal. That's the unknown. But yeah, that was a case that really, really touched me to see her daughter go through this. It did not affect the other child. Did not affect it at all. But this girl, she was real close to her grandma, the mother of the dad that actually, she went to Mexico and spent like a month there in summer with her grandmother. And when she came back, this is what happened. So they're like, do you think grandma? I was like, I don't know. I wasn't there. I did talk to them about a year later, and they were better. They did not live in the same house. Some priests did come out, the archdiocese, a bishop, they came out to help the family. And it was fascinating. And that's real. So yeah, my thing on demons, it could be real because if you believe in God, you got to believe in the devil.
Let's say I came across some really bad spirits already. I picked up if you call me names. I've been called a-hole, SOB.
But do you think that it's demonic though?
No. I'm saying no. I think it's a bad person.
Yeah, because think of this.
And they're miserable during their life and make miserable in the next life.
Exactly. And two, you think of this, add this into the mix. If, okay, I died here in my house and then people started coming into my house to investigate it. And I started calling you names. Of course, because you're coming in my house and driving and bugging the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know? So we gotta look at it in all spectrums.
Well, I told my friends I'll be probably going soon before them guys. I always tell them that. And I think I would come back. I have a list of all the people I'm gonna haunt.
And
that's my haunt people bucket list I have.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't
just haunt people.
We don't know. I hope I come back and haunt the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, me too.
I gotta, because I have a list.
I'm gonna write for them.
Yeah, I've got a list of people that I'm going to come back and do. if I go before them.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. Oh my. I do why just that song about that place. But there are places you went in and said, nope, we can't do it because the way you felt.
Yep.
Or you saw an investigation, you said, well, sorry, the demon one.
Yeah.
Or if you look up a location, you say, well, maybe it's unsafe to go there after doing the historical thing on it.
I had it when I had my podcast going years ago. I had a shaman on, and the shaman started bringing up these locations where you go to pay to play. And he goes, think about this. This place, you pay and play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're in here on Monday. There's another team in here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it starts all over again. Now, everybody's not the same. Everybody's energy is not the same. Everybody's mindset's not the same. So you go in on Monday and you're just being legit. You're introducing yourself. You're talking normal about what they did when they were here. And then on Tuesday, I come in. I do the same thing. But on Wednesday, Scooby-Doo Paranormal Society comes in and they start provoking the shit out of this.
Yeah.
And he made good sense.
Actually, I could not hear about you. What I mean,
exactly.
That made me so freaking angry.
Oh, it drives me crazy. And then he was saying that, just think about this. Over the years, you go into the same place and you're provoking, you're poking the bear. Eventually, that spirit is going to release the beast onto an innocent person, and they're going to get hurt because they're tired of getting poked at. They're tired of getting asked the same questions. They're tired of somebody coming into their location and calling them an SOB, piece of crap. Well, first of all, you didn't know that SOB or the piece of crap because this was way before you were even thought of. So who gives you the damn right to come into their location and tell them that they're this, that, and this? Because I know where I came from. I was raised to respect with manners. So you don't go in there and you don't do that. Yeah, we like to provoke a little bit. Of course, we like to goof off and say, "Oh, come on, I know you can do it," and go, "Well, I think you're a wuss. You can't do it." Okay, that's a little different. That's just like joking around, a bunch of guys, right? But when you provoke and provoke and provoke, someone's going to get hurt. And I really liked his thinking on that because I never thought of that. Because we could be excited about going to Waverly Hills tonight, and we don't know what the group did last night in there. So when we go in, we can get hurt. We just don't know.
Yeah.
And it can happen to anybody. So, yeah. So I just tell people to be very careful. Watch what you say. Watch how you investigate. Because we don't know. We're not in these locations every day.
Yeah. But whenever we go in, we talk to them like regular people. Hey, how's your, my name, so his name, or we go around and introduce ourselves. And a lot of times we'll talk questions, and then sometimes we'll sit there half an hour, and I'll say, so Bill, how you been so far? How's everything going on? I'll say my other friend Don. We'll start talking, and a lot of times just pick up voices between you talking.
Because they're open enough to talk to you because you don't seem scary to them. You're asking them legit questions because we have in our mindset, okay, we know we go in here that a little girl passed away. So that's the first thing we're targeting. People, it's in their mind. We're humans. We focus on the tragedy. Don't focus on the tragedy. Try to focus on the good. Like, what did you like to do when you were young?
Or we'd bring toys. We'd take toys.
Exactly. Do you like to do this? Did you have a brother or sister? Did you like candy? Here's candy. Little things like that can open this spirit up to where all this stuff, and I'm innocent. I'm guilty when an object goes off on command and it does it 3 or 4 times. And then I'm like, okay, if you do it one more time, I'll leave you alone. And sure enough, it does it again. So then someone else walks in the room and they go, oh, this thing actually went off every time. So then you're asking it again. And I'm like, wait, I can't keep asking the spirit this because they've done it for me every time. But I'm
Yeah.
guilty. I'm guilty. Can you do it one more time?
Yeah. Or like, oh God, they're back in.
Exactly. Like, here they come again.
Jesus. Oh, maybe we scare shit out of this time. They won't come back.
Exactly. Do something. Yeah, scare the shit out of them. Show yourself. Show just your face.
Yeah.
That's all I need is I need to see an apparition.
Or their ass.
Exactly. Moon them.
Yeah. Get the ghost moon.
Sit. Show them your finger.
My God. I actually think I saw not many years ago. Somebody actually picked up middle finger on one of the shows. Like, oh,
Well, that'd be interesting.
yeah, I can't remember one of that.
That'd be something to be cool to see on a thermal shot, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh
What's he doing? He's flipping me off, that bastard.
or maybe get the spirit doing the torque.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, I every time I go out, I think, oh, this will be time. This will be time. You know, I don't ever get another video evidence call. I'll be satisfied with first down for that basketball.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to capture the video. It truly is. I mean, you know, we set up cameras. We're holding handhelds, and usually 9 times out of 10, the handheld is facing. We got it down, shoot them back as we're looking at something. And then your buddy goes, "Hey, did you catch that on video?" Damn it, no, I had the camera facing behind me.
All right.
It's just natural.
I like calling over to video, but I also listen to audio mostly because you never know, we get AVP on the DVRs too. So.
Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't used my DVR in a long time. I usually do it when we have ghost classes, when you got multiple people, you know, and I want to take a smaller group in. I'll set up the DVR like in the garage or something and run the cameras out. So then that smaller group can have more of a good time with their, you know, together instead of one big group where, you know, you're always going to have people whispering. You're always going to have people talking. And so that's the only time I really ever use my DVR, or unless I'm staying over somewhere.
But when we took guests along, we always give them a little list.
Yeah, there you go.
Try not to whisper. Don't wear any perfume.
Yes,
please.
The
perfume's the one.
Please take a shower.
Yeah. Don't wear deodorant. Don't wear deodorant.
Yes, please, but just don't put the colognes or perfumes on, please.
Oh God, I'm very allergic to perfume, anyways.
Yeah.
And certain air fresheners I can't, you know, and we don't use scented laundry detergent either, because I can't stand the smell of it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think it's my disease messing with me, because it screws up my senses and my taste too. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but and I gotta eat certain things, but I get along with that.
You're gonna get better. Things will get better.
Yeah, but
sometimes when we get knocked down, it takes a little bit of time to get back up.
Like a Chumbo song.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So you just gotta keep trucking. You gotta keep going. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm so anxious to get. I'm choosing to get out, and
yeah, definitely. You get out and do some investigating. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to get people on here. I want a person to investigate with, and she's in a busy school and stuff, so I can't expect her to, haul my ass around. Cause I haven't drove for like 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, I bet it does. So yeah, I'm praying for you that things have turned around for you and good things are coming ahead.
I'll have to get there on somewhere sometime.
What's that?
I'll think there sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about the prospect places. That's it.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time. That's a really cool
I've
place.
been at all.
Oh, you definitely got to go check it out.
Yeah.
You definitely got to spend some time in the barn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of great activity out there.
Yeah.
When you're in
I
town,
was
you
there, I was
need to
there
go
for
to
a tour before,
Like,
and they
the
had like
tortoise.
they
Yeah.
had like a craft fair out front.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With
Yeah, they do a lot of
numerous-
little things there for the community.
Yeah.
Right down the road when you're there, you got to stop and see the Longaberger basket building, even though it's empty now, but it's still creepy and look.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I've been there since it's empty. I saw video do a tour. I think 3 days ago I saw some guy who went there. That is creepy. I mean,
it's a creepy looking building. Whoever designed it.
I was there before, but yeah, I know that there's also a factory in Pennsylvania, a bear factory, voice bears. I think of
Yeah.
that's cheap fish too. That was in like a log cabin.
Yep.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, well, do you want to shout out to anybody or what your
Hey, I want
plans
to.
are? And
Yeah, definitely want to let everyone know thanks for chiming in and listening, and whoever's going to be listening, as you know, Scott puts this out there. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Come out and support Scott. Reach out to him. Get on the show. Share your stories. Like I said earlier to Scott, if you're just listening, I'm starting my podcast back up on the 13th of August. Scott, I'll be reaching out, having you on to talk to me and the wife.
I got a lot of stuff I can show you.
So we'll have a good time.
Oh yeah.
And check us out. We're on YouTube, ParaVizionz Paranormal Society. We're also on TikTok, here on Facebook, and Instagram, and just starting the YouTube back up again, getting it running, doing a lot more video. So there'll be a lot more out there as I'm going to be videoing at the Whispers Estate. So I'll be putting that out there as well. Hey, Denise. And definitely we'll be, Denise, I'll be with her this Saturday at Whispers Estate and her and her husband. And we look forward. We're going to have a good time. So definitely, it's all about network. It's all about working together. And what I like to say to everyone, always keep looking into the unknown.
Yep. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay, well, I'll have you back in November. I'll back on. You'll have a lot more stuff to show.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Get with me.
Oh yeah, I'll most definitely do that, and I'll definitely keep in touch.
Absolutely, definitely. I'll be reaching out to you, sending you a friend request and stuff on Facebook.
Oh, sounds great.
All right, buddy. You have a good night.
You too.
Happy
hunting.
Happy hunting to you, bud.